Mwancho mategereri waba wose Global Radio na ikiregana inde ase murubyo kawaida murubyo tanga sanga na AGR nubata mageni koleta ase studio mwana siasa kubase orobongo rwawusi manyakaine sana ase amayagenda tokora na inde botanga no metenga mundu katwara bantu inde bakunyotanga ya tali muyani nini teta ile ngire bageri mwele bagari yae anyare we introduce. Hello mheshimiwa.
Na wale bali. Thank you. The fourth estate, Njasa Marieta Paul Angwenyi.
Yes.
And co-represent abantu bakora Sensi Ward in Kitutu Church North in Kisii County.
Yeah.
This is my first time with Kisii County Assembly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that is nice. Kwa vile uko featured sana ase chinyomba cha mangana maiya bintu ete bikonya kwa vile wate nata no ndo ntendo muna biko we need something that is very straight. So given the ODM yabete there's some bintu byabaiga mo chairman we Kisii ODM branch akagenda kwa Romo mokonyo muraiwense ikalenta mangana timetinga not tenga izili ODM at the verge of breaking and
no, ODM is intact.
Yeah.
ODM is strong. ODM is growing stronger every other day.
Okay.
Just to be very clear on issues, agera mo basago kobeka chinguru asegendo getayo.
Yeah.
One, in our 2010 constitution, the constitution envisaged creating stronger institutions. Chigo fight was a chigo deal na mangana democracy. Chigo build stronger institutions in advancement of our democratic society. And such institutions, one is the political parties that are the engines that are going to drive our democratic space, are going to drive our politics, our issues to deal with the governance and all that. So in the 2010 constitution, it gave rise to what we call the Political Parties Act of the same. And under the political parties, it is very clear. That's why Akorora and Wako was summoned by political parties because of their activities or behavior. Chikore kana koba in tantamount, chikoba in contradiction with the political parties' ideals. And one such issue is what happened in Kisii County. We are a political party. ODM is a political party. And in a political party, one of the objectives is to capture power. And develop people. You cannot capture power when you have members in this political party who do not have who do not believe on that objective. ODM, like any other political party's main objective is to advance democracy and capture power so that they can run their programs of governance for the betterment of our people. So when we realize that among us, to the traitors, we do a cross-check. So what ODM in Kisii was doing on the other day, we were cross-checking. Are we in the same pot or we are not? And we realized that in ODM there are members who have moved on. Who have moved on and in contravention to the political party's ideal. So as a party, we had a responsibility to protect our niche, our turf.
Yes. So is it wrong? Unera lengerende no murayale wekama ya ODM, lakini akenda kwa Romo konyu muraiwense is their leader also is our leader. So is it wrong? Was there something wrong about it?
There is nothing wrong kwa Romo muraiwense.
Yeah. Because
when you are a president or you are a deputy president, you are a person of national focus.
Yeah.
What is wrong is that when you are going there as a chairman of the party, you must get clearance from our party structures.
Yeah.
You don't need to do it privately. You do it publicly and people must know that you are going for A, B, C, D. But when you are moving or you are going to see anybody, and the statements, the language, the whatever that is going is not very clear, as a party, we have a problem. Because if you wanted to go and see the Deputy President, as the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, we have nothing wrong with that. What we are only saying, with the party mechanism, the party structure is not clear. Because we are a party. Yeah?
And na ranga mwa watu mwatenga ya karobi swan. Is it the right channel you kumrusia wisama?
Yes, you see, under the political, that's why I'm continuing to tell people that we must protect our constitution, 2010 constitution, and improve it even further. The 2010 constitution is very clear about the pluralism, about multi-party democracy and the role of political parties. And that has given rise to what we call the Political Parties Act, which was enacted in this country, which clearly stipulates how we are supposed to conduct our affairs. So what Omwando did was total in contravention of the Political Parties Bill. What the ODM branch in Kisii did was to invoke.
So it was good. I was changing from the party clearance, then it could have been okay.
Communication.
Yeah.
If you are married for that matter, your wife cannot be seen in an hotel with another man without your knowledge. That's a very archaic way of giving similarities, but that is the truth. We are one house, and in one house we have the norms, and those norms are divided by the Political Party Act, and the law is very clear. It says by association, even by a mere perception that you are dancing with an opponent whom we are competing with, you are assumed to have moved on to that other opponent.
But then I saw he came forward to the media, alafu akasema like nchome tena watu wabeti njo nitike kiama kende yonsa just went there to visit and come back. Yeah, there's a day addressed media.
You know, one, he confirmed that yes, he went and met our political competitor. Two, he has not disclosed the nature of the meeting. Three, from our party files and ranks, we have one political leader.
But in that kunachake mheshimiwa,
yes.
I guess when he addressed the media, he said like he went there to discuss matters concerning development. And yeah, that's what.
There's no problem with that. But the problem is clearance. Nonyayo mwano onyomba. Tako enda kurara mwanyarebe atanyore permission. We come where allowance na ki tata ngogenda ande kokora revision na my fellow student. Ngogenda ando for this and this ABCD. I uno mwibuli wenyombe kwa make clear your mind whether that is important or it's not. We are not trying to limit political space. But by mere and by way of our operation, we are saying these are the code of conduct of our party. We have moved out of the code of conduct. We have said as a party, we remove you from doing major activities in the political party until we ascertain. You are going there was essentially for development, not for any other issues. Okay. We are saying that chairman of political party na member, but chairman to run the day-to-day activities of the party until when that committee mandated by our party constitution and the Political Parties Act affirms that indeed his visit to the Deputy President's office was and you see, he didn't go to the office. That is another issue. He didn't go to the office so that we can say it was more of an official duty. He went to the resident. And the residents, you know what happens in residence. It's those are family matters, those are private matters. So we don't want to delve into it. What we are saying as a party, we are uncomfortable for him to continue being the chair of the party, and that's why he was removed by that committee. And the second thing, we are saying we will wait the disciplinary committee or the committee that is mandated to handle such matters, address the issues exhaustively, and if they find there was no mischief, the party will welcome him back and we will run the party together.
Yeah, so in the matter of clearance, you know, is the as a branch ya KC ODM.
Yes.
So mwenda kumo clear one.
The question is not about clearance. Even as members of the party, you know, the party is not an individual thing. The party is what the chairman, what the organizing, what the chairman. When you are going, if you are going for a thing that is going to make the party better in Kisii, you go with your team. You don't go alone. Yeah. You go with the other officials. You don't go alone.
So, in connection to that, a little before I go to another area, can we say like Chirango se chavete tuanjiro Chirango zimete tempimete Rangos Chirango se chavete initial about Omando going to visit the deputy president. Can you connect to the fact that one guy there's some Rangos between the women rep and the senate?
There's no connection. That was a party matter, and in a party matter, the party lays down structures. The party constitution lays down structures on dealing with the party issues. Errant members, people who have become errant within the party, how they are dealt with. It can be a perception or an association. It's just a feeling. If somebody somewhere in the party believes that you are no longer with us, then there is a party laid down structures in a party constitution that deals with those issues. So Omando was being dealt within the party hierarchy, within the party constitution. There was nothing personal. There was nothing personal about Omando. Omando for now is not is a suspended member and not a chairman of the ODM party, Kisii branch. With the person we have there as on interim basis until such a time is done is Samuel Okorosi. Is now the acting chairman until such a time that the party convenes, that committee is convened to discuss the issues of Omando.
And how long is it going to take before
these are two parties. There is the party and its structures, and there is a member. So long as the member acts fast, the party will be ready to listen to him.
Mheshimiwa tete kwira nima gasimini there's ikarongera ya koletu no mwanda achiete ikaba rowdy like ando kaugerana. I don't know whether you attended that.
I'm not aware. Unless you tell me. all party matters. All party matters I've attended, and none of those matters have been rowdy as people, as the media tries. You know, there is a gutter press. You know, the gutter press can create anything out there. But I have attended all matters, political parties, the ODM party, and I'm a main mover in ODM. That should be very clear. I'm one of the main players in the party, so I am not aware of any rankles. So even if the party feels that Paul has moved out of order, the party has the mechanism to deal with me. The same happened to Aisha Juma. You remember she went all the way to court. It has happened to so many other members. So don't connect my individual actions to more of issues that are affecting the wider populace. If the party wants to deal with me, it will deal with me as Paul Angwenyi. It will not deal with me as a corporate, as a country.
So I guess now tumefikia session like there's no Rangos. ODM party is so strong in Kisii.
Very strong. Very soon we are starting the recruitment. We are revamping our structures as we wait for the main battle. We want to capture power come 2022.
Amuntu riwocha asabona. Amuntu riwocha asabona.
Yes.
And tora kwana mangana CRA. So how about it? Na kiweroche the generally about the.
Now I want to be very clear and honest to the country. The main purpose of devolution was to address the various inequalities that we have experienced over time.
Yeah.
Because I remember during the Moi era, Moi used to say, siasa mbaya, maisha mbaya. That money was being channeled to areas that were politically correct, vis-a-vis other areas that were politically incorrect. So this created what we call a development disparity. You will find areas that are more developed and other areas are extremely underdeveloped. This created two countries. Two, there was a session paper number 10 that advocated for government to pump resources into areas that were perceived to be more productive economically. And this left other areas underdeveloped. I am giving this in a summary. So if you go session paper number 10 of 1965, it highlights, and when you look onto these areas, you'll find that in most of those areas that government was pumping money were more of agricultural areas that were white highland settlements, areas that were initially, you know, remember we got independence in 1963? Yeah? And this session paper came in place in 1965. So these were areas that were inhabited. These were areas that were people were white settlers, or areas. And these were areas where the railway also ran from Mombasa to Western and the North and the Central. So because of this policy, you will find that many areas were left outside this circuit of development. Eh? What? These areas were left behind because of that government policy. Yani, asaya katika kare mageka aso obogenderelio. Nakike konyaro ogende nintika chi industry chikaga chuo.
Yeah.
Ogende Nairobi kanyora chi industry chinga chakoleke. Yeah. Eye ekagera chinse chindi chia Kenya njia develop. Njia kina kimagendrelo. Chinse chinde na Northeastern, North Marsabit, Moyale, Mombasa and all those areas. Chikatikana maiga kimagendrelo. So tukatokerana abantu baitu from Chinkaga, one of our rural areas, togansa kurua abantu bagansa kuru nabona bosongo usegusi kogenda Nairobi koligichiga chigasi esengenjo in Nairobi asaya renge productive abantu bakaba more productive bakanyora abano a population ya those areas gakoraki kamendeka. You know, we want to build a country that is fair and just. And the fair and just means that Kromonto agweyuwa na nare asakoro ku Kenya as equality and justice is for all. Abanda ba senator igendo ngereke moda to go discuss. Negi hu ikwane randa trakora. Ekiagara, I am asking myself, a budget of this country is 2.7 trillion.
Yeah.
2.7 trillion. Chibi asabono tubegetele more focus is 316 billion, which is a small fraction of the budget. And when the holding a key, there has been these inequalities. Do we run away from the principle of fair and justice? Do we run away from the principle of equality? Or we want to say one Kenya when underneath all of us are suffering?
So in simple terms,
yes,
that having a CRA on your side is the way to go.
That is the way to go. That is the way to go as a country if we have to talk about fairness. Let me ask you, one of the problems over there in the Senate, Moago Itokorku Senator Professor Sam Ongeri was elected with over 200,000 votes.
Yeah.
In the Senate, the weight behind him is 200,000. But in the same Senate, there are people who are elected with 20,000 votes. So the weight behind those is 20,000 votes. How do you equate a weight here 200,000 vis-a-vis a weight here 20,000? It's simple. Onyore esukari wata chikiro 20 na yende wata chikiro 50 e balance te kotokoreka. Bono na kitora akora twanzo te nyamanda wabwate chikiro chinke una watu are the same delegated vote in the Senate. Yeah. The question should be reversed. How? The question should be reversed in this sense.
So in the case of county, how are we going to benefit?
The question is not about benefit.
Yeah.
The question is about building a fair society. And when we are building a fair society, we are talking about the national government has a responsibility to ensure that that fair society has been achieved without compromising equality and fairness to everybody. So that if I weigh 200,000 votes, the weight behind me is 200,000, I should feel that I'm equally being taken care of by the same government. What we should do, created a 2/3 gender rule. In the constitution, it gave a plan on by within the next 20 years, we will have achieved the 2/3 gender rule. If it's about addressing inequality in the Asol areas and in Kisii and Nyanza areas, we should say, because these inequalities were created by systemic issues of the previous governments, how are we going to address these issues of inequalities? We will say, let us put aside in our budget 100 billion to jumpstart the economies of those areas.
Yeah. So you said it's not about benefiting,
Yeah. No, when you talk about benefit, it is something that you own. I will come no manyana. Are you seeing? But when we are talking about fair and just society, it is where you as a person can apply yourself and get the same results. He applies himself, he gets the same results. Are you seeing the point? But when you say benefit, you are saying, what is in there for me? And that is what the Senate is doing. They are asking themselves, what is in there for me? If it's Ongeri is asking himself, what's in there for me? That's a wrong discussion as a country. It's extremely unacceptable discussion. Because what if there is nothing in there for you?
Okay, Kisii County, I guess we have to get some additional funds, but our counterpart in Nyamira, go some funds.
Yes.
So what about bring about equity and justice in the society? Don't we think it will be unfair to Nyamira because
it's not about what is in there for me. It's about what is there for all of us. If I applied it today, if I wake up from my house in the morning, I go to work, and so wakes up in the morning, goes to work, the same work, the results should be the same. But here we are, there are few who are walking up to work, they get different results. There are those who can't even walk, because the environment they find themselves in does not provide an equilibrium, does not provide, it's not conducive for them to apply themselves. Yes.
Bono tigatura enda board in sepia say the ward level. Then ki bona arera achiko enda mpaka ward level at the development.
Because let me tell you, that's why I'm telling you, the discussion in the Senate is not healthy for this country. In fact, if it were within my powers, that discussion should be stopped immediately. So that as a country we go back to the drawing board and ask ourselves, where did the rain start beating us? How do we narrow this gap? It's not about what is in there for me. For example, I gave you an example earlier on, and I told you this. Igaye assembly, engakere chikura n'abantu are registered voters born over 18,000.
Yeah.
So when I go to the assembly Maria, abantu barimo gongona n'abantu 18,000. Kwa konyora the same assembly, umuntu naro asakuru chikura chire 3,000. Lakini ekura kira ego distribution of resources onyane bursary onyora 3 million na onyora 3 million. Who benefits in this case?
The other one.
The other one, because he has less numbers. But remember, I am carrying 18,000. Emiaka erenga era ngere go satisfy abantu. No ene miaka erenga era mwere go satisfy abantu.
Okay, mheshimiwa, na kinate ngoche clear kibono siare na kicho konya in that line like one.
Now the question is this. The answer is this. When we are fighting for an equality and a fair society, a just society for all of us, yeah, the question of numbers comes in. Because one, nechikura ngakiri chiabantu gacha matarilo.
Yeah.
Ekure liane should measure the same like ekura yao ekeruwa kire mali. So that when we are casting our vote, we are carrying the burden. The other factors of production like land, yeah, then the national government, county government should now come up with a different program altogether of financing, because these are factors of production. We want land to build industries. We want land for agribusiness. We want land to do ABCD. Yeah, I think so that if we have been blessed with the extra land, how can we utilize this land for production purposes?
Okay, now in case okay, one tatabe bill tatabe say a formula ya CRA ya itire. Is there any other need ya BBI on building bridges initiative?
We need a BBI like yesterday. Why? We want to bring equality. We want to bring equality. Yeah. For example, how are we going to address the inequalities in terms of representation? Yeah? We need now, if you look onto the current constitution, we talk about boundaries. Boundaries do not form up people. Yeah? What forms up people is people themselves. So we want, BBI should now look on to defining what a constitution should, a constituency or a county or a ward should be. Yeah? And that's why we have to elect a president, all of us. Because he is going to be a president of the people of the Republic of Kenya.
Yeah.
What defines the Republic of Kenya? Is the boundaries.
Yeah.
I think. But in that boundary, in that republic called Kenya, there are constituencies. So like now, I should be told, away from the boundary, a constituency should have, for example, 100,000 registered voters. So that we have equal weights. When I go to the assembly, when I go to parliament, or I go to the senate, or I go to the ward or the assembly, I know behind me I have 100,000 registered voters. So and so has 100,000 registered voters. Because the national government and the county governments are going to also look onto other areas of investment to balance the equation. Yes.
Now, I want us to move to the now development itself.
Yes.
Maybe in your ward, let's talk of the ward of Sensi.
Yes.
So far, amalalamika aravire sana, aravire.
Yes.
There's a road ya Lioma, Kenyoni, Kenyambi.
Yes.
Abantu wakwanire sana.
Yes.
The reason it was in media, watanga in the Imbira, I wish you could have maybe said something about it.
You know, let me tell you, this is another clear issue you need to understand.
Yeah.
One, from the word go, Paul Angwe in Thai Reverse Ghana, you have 20 million for development. Paul Angwin does not, or any other ward, or any other MCA. There is no MCA who has been given money for development, like CDF, where you have the veto power. You will say, do this, do that, you do that through the board. We don't have such money. What the MCA does, in every 5 years, Kisii County Integrated Development Program. It is called the CIDP. In the CIDP, we enlist all projects that we purpose ourselves to do in that particular term. A term now is the 5 years we are there. So our CIDP in Kisii runs for 5 years. This is where we sat, we did public barazas, we went around, we collected. If you go to the CIDP, you will get the number of springs we want to do in the 5 years. You go the number of roads we want to do the 5 years. If you go to the hospitals, all those hospitals we want to do within the 5 years, we go everywhere. And collected these issues. We involved our people in identifying these projects for 5 years. We don't stop there. We bring those issues, we collect them. We now form what we call a CIDP, a county CIDP, County Integrated Development Programs. Step 1. Step 2, you now go, because we don't have we don't have a 5-year financial planning. We have annual. You get it? We have what we call annual development plan. This is now, we are now factoring, because our financial year runs from June to June. That out of the many development programs that you have done, this particular financial year, which programs are you going to do? That's when we form what we call annual development program. Annual development program is, now we are now going to specifics, depending on the money that we do what we have. So we have allocated all those roads are there for that particular financial year. We now remove from the main CIDP, identify a few roads on the basis of the finance and put them. Once we do that, then the budget process begins. They are factored in. Like now the road you have raised is there, is factored. 2019-2020 financial year, 3 million for that road is factored. You getting the point? Now when it's factored in, so it runs through another process called the Public Procurement and Disposal Act of 2015. This is a law that now guides on how to identify a contractor or identify a service provider to go and do that particular road, because government doesn't do those projects directly.
And how long does that one take?
Now, that's what I'm trying to explain to you. So within that particular financial year, a program, you see, like now, I've told you 2019-2020, that road was factored in. So within that financial year, it is assumed that that road could have done, all factors held constant, it would have been done by closure of that financial year. That is 31st or 30th of June. Are you seeing? Now, the other, I've told you, I've cited another law that is applied now for government, when government is soliciting for services or contracts, called the Public Procurement and the Disposal Act 2015. Because government is not going to pick anybody from the street to go and do what? There is a law that guides that. So from like July, the procurement process is done. Procurement process means developing of work plans, advertising for those positions, those contracts and services provisions, and identifying contractors and handing over contracts to those. The roads you have said were contracted successfully, and so were subcontracted sometimes by around February of this year. All the contractors had gotten their letters. Now the question that happens, remember, a financial year runs from 1st July to 30th of June. We are contracting this contractor in February. Is it?
Yeah.
How many months are remaining for closure of that financial year?
It's around 4 months.
About 4 months. So you hand over site to a contractor 4 months to a closure of a financial year. Now, when you hand over such a project to a contractor, so the contractor takes over the project. Ideally, it's 1 year. So from February, it now takes you to another
1 year.
It now crosses you to another financial year.
Okay, let me get it clear.
Yes.
Once it has been contracted,
Yes.
so it takes around
Another 1 year.
Yeah.
Because you see, our financial planning is annual. Our financial planning, I started with 5 years. Then we now cascade that to 1 financial year.
Yeah.
What projects are you going to do this particular financial year on the basis of what finances are available? Usually the national government indicates what finances are available. So you plan, you budget for that. But again, because of systemic issues, inbuilt systemic issues, you will find the projects, like now from July this year, we are actually, you can see we are doing nothing. Yeah? This will run probably up to end of the year, 2020. So you will find out that the letters of award and other issues are now coming in terms of January, February, I think. So by the time contracts are issued, people run to the ground, it will depend on the capacity of the contractor. If it doesn't run up to the ground very fast, it will again be closed down that financial year. So it will not be paid. You will again wait another financial year to be paid. So those are systemic issues that needs to be addressed.
And is there a way a contractor can be maybe hired when so that
you cannot? You see, a contract is a contract. Yeah. You see, like if you are told you are permanent and pensionable, you are permanent and pensionable. Okay. A contractor these are short-term contracts. You are told within 1 year you do the road and you will be paid. Yeah? You know, you are not given in advance. You do the road, then you're paid.
And now then, you know, a problem the moment I'm raised immediately how
no, that's a lie. Yeah. That's a lie. Usually what happens, we talk to these contractors because they are also sons and daughters of our soil. We talk to these contractors. We persuade them. Because when we know they have not been paid, and when you understand the process, so you find that you have that hiccup. You have to talk to them now for them to look for resources. And remember, some of these contractors don't have the machines. Yeah? The machines are also contracted by government. Yeah. We have what we call the government fund, which lists those machines to the contractors. So sometimes the contractors will run there and find that the machines are not there. So they'll have to wait. Yeah? Like now, probably when there was a lot of pressure, the contractor, how do I calm down? He was given a bad machine, which could not even move. So it's not about that, it's about the media or whatever. No, they have an obligation. One thing I don't lose is that so long as people's money does not get lost. Yeah? That is my worry. If money is lost somewhere on works that have not been done, that is the question that I should be now taken to task, that where were you when money was being embezzled or taken in the name of a contract, and that contract has not been done what?
And how is it done? Like, ama you do it maybe and the next maybe what
you know, we have various we classify roads into various categories. There are virgin roads. Yeah. Virgin roads are virgin roads. Roads that have never been done, roads that have never been you know. So what happens that you are going to make those roads now become roads.
Yeah.
And when we are making them become roads, we are going to expand them. You are going to open them, yeah, make them roads.
Okay.
Are you seeing, not the pathways that people use for ABCD? So those are called virgin roads. We have roads that are classified under class. There is a government classification: class D, class A, class B, class C, class D.
Yeah.
There are those roads below class D. Those are we probably call county roads. Yeah. Those county roads, then also they are also the process is also different, because county roads are now purely under the county, and depending on the budget lines, they are selected across which are of more economic importance than the other road. So they are identified, and they can either be put under what we call road maintenance, or are put as county roads. Yeah. And when we have roads that are put under fuel maintenance, these are existing roads, like the one you said is a road that is existing.
Yeah.
So what can happen to that road is either you scale it to class D and above. So when you scale it to class D and above, it is taken over by the national government. Yeah. So they will come in and put a tarmac and all that. So the class of the road also changes. But now, as it is, it's a county road that needs to be maintained for easy accessible.
Yeah.
Accessible. So what happens is that a contractor gonna patchwork improvement. Are you seeing? Patchwork improvement means you only repair areas that are Chisarigete, and the drainages and making drainages. So if the road was done, there were no drainages. Now drainages are done. Water is removed from the road, especially when we have rain. So there are drainages. The road remains like that.
Maraming, is it part of that?
Yeah, that's what we call patchwork maintenance. Right. Yeah.
Fine. Alafu ne borehole, the same thing happens about the borehole. There's a borehole that was
now you see, and you know how and the Kenyans should be very thankful. They have a person like me as the MCA. That borehole was never or nowhere in government plans.
Yeah.
That should be clear, and they should be told. That borehole was never and nowhere in the government plans, even as late as last year. In fact, late this year, that borehole was never and nowhere in government plans. If you go to ICIDP, it was not there. If you go to our various ADP, it was not there. Why? It was not a priority for those people. Yeah. Because when we went there, it was not a priority. What they gave us a priority is different from what we were able to do. But being a leader, I looked onto the various options available. It so happened that the Kisii County government procured a drilling rig, a borehole. This drill is called a rig. A rig is a machine that is used to sink boreholes. So it brought in a new rig machine for sinking boreholes. And you know, as I told you, contracts, when a person wins a contract, there are terms and the conditions of that contract. So county governments were not going to buy those machines, and they bring those machines and deposit them on the backyard that they have delivered. The machines must be tested to be working. Are you seeing?
Yeah.
The machines must be tested to ascertain whether there was value for money. And myself and the governor, being people, were very considerate. And the governor asked me, which area do we need to go and test these machines? And that's why Kenyan came into picture. Yeah. I didn't know we were creating problems for ourselves. I didn't know. That's the truth, and it should go out there clearly that we created problems for ourselves. Otherwise, we could have used the little money that we have for development to go and do the springs like the one which is down there almost as which you have already done. Repair it and make it ready for the people to use. We brought an idea that is now following us, that is now being used against us. The idea of a borehole. Otherwise, the people of Kenya did not have a borehole as a priority area. So, I told governor that let's build those people a borehole because they walk down the hill to collect water and go uphill. And I told them, I sympathize personally for the old mamas there. Now they have the energy, they have the audacity to go around crying and being mobilized to say we have failed. We have not failed. They are the people who have failed themselves because one, they did not give a borehole as a priority. What they gave as a priority, and I can confirm to you today, is electricity and the road. And the ECD classrooms that is installed there. Those are the things they gave as priority areas.
So about the electricity, was it taken into consideration?
You know the mandate of county governments. Electricity is a national government. Us is to influence. Is to ask our member of parliament, could you kindly go and ask the minister in charge of power and energy to consider giving electricity to our people of Kenya? That is the much I can do. But I cannot go put a gun on Mheshimiwa or the national government to force them put power or whatever there. What we know, there are government mechanisms that we have worked, we have reactivated them, and we are sure that we wanted first to exhaust what we call the last mile connectivity. Last mile connectivity is a national government program. There is the last mile connectivity. We wanted to use Nyabikonda as a point because there is a transformer there, and there is another program called Transformer Maximization Program. If there is a transformer in a radius of 600 meters, people around that area can do what? But that transformer in Nyabikonda is defective. So it now takes us back that it's a whole thing that we have to go back, continue talking to these people of Kenya Power to replace that transformer. And even if you replace that transformer, the 600 meter radius will not benefit the people of Kenya.
And now, in the same word, you were championing about the youth empowerment.
Yes.
I don't know how far has it gone so far in the word.
Well, we've done fairly well. Fairly well, as compared to other wards and other counties. We've done fairly well. One, you cannot talk about youth empowerment without necessarily empowering them to have skills. Because it's out of the skills they can generate themselves into something. When I came in, I utilized what we call the national government TVET program, and we sponsored 176 young people from the ward to join various TVET institutions. I even personally gave money for the same. I remember there were those who were going to Karoka, a TVET center, that is Karoka Technical Training. I remember I bought a number of mattresses for those young boys and girls to go and sleep. And I held discussions with the principals of those. I went to Kisii National Polytechnic, I held meetings there. Training as a form of empowerment. Because you cannot empower a young person who does not have skills. And that's one. Two.
I want to ask you something. So, randomly, or say there's some specific places?
No, we were not doing it randomly, or we didn't have a specific place. The specific place is in Sword.
Yes.
Yes, that is a specific place. We were following on to willingness.
Yeah.
You know, you cannot force a cow to drink water if it's not ready to drink water. So one, we looked on to those young people who are desirous to attain a skill. You know, it must come from inside you. You want to be trained, you want to have a skill, because you know it's that skill you are going to use to empower yourself. I know of young girls who thought that they could go for things like hair, beauty, dress, and all that. And some of those we spoke to then, some of those that I spoke to and encouraged them to change from beauty courses and go to things like plumbing. I have a girl who did in Keroka plumbing. Today she can buy me lunch in this town. She's winning contracts all over the place in this town. She's making money for the family because she went there and did plumbing for 6 months. For 6 months, she's going back there. She's now doing a diploma in plumbing. She started with a certificate. Now she's doing a diploma. The sky is the limit. But here we have young people who think that the only way to empower themselves is through employment. And I'm asking myself, in this county, in this Kenya we have today, without a skill, which kind of empowerment do you want?
Yes, so that was the first step.
That's the first step. The second step, when I came in, there were programs that were running in other sub-counties. In Nyariba, in Bobasi, there were programs funded fully by World Bank. There were programs funded in South Mugirango by World Bank. There are programs which were funded in other parts, but these programs were not in the entire Kitutu Church, north and south. Then I asked myself, why is it that in Kitutu we don't have such World Bank funded programs? So we initiated a program with the governor. Letters were written left and right. The minister in charge of trade and agriculture were tasked to go to Nairobi and discuss with the World Bank. World Bank gave a nod, and they said we will now extend our programs to this other part of the country, of the county. So since it became one of the beneficiary counties, wards, Maran came as a result of that. Maran also was plowed in. As a result of that, Munyarara was plowed in, but with an extension of sense. So there are projects of we brought this funding to our people, and we went to the people and told them, organize yourselves in cells of 20 to 30 people. Just organizing in cells of 20 to 30 people, so that because we cannot give you money individually, we can only give you in a group. We have so far organized over 41 groups within the ward. Those that were willing and ready to be supported. And we didn't want so much science. All we told them, just organize yourself, have group dynamics, have a registration, we'll do you a proposal. I got people seated in my office in Sensi doing proposals for these groups. Today I can tell you, over 36 groups have received a contribution from World Bank, over 500,000 each group. That is equivalent to, you can do a math.
How many groups were there?
36 have so far received, and we are going to, in the next few days, we are 500,000 times 36. That's about 18 million.
So the man was given in form of machines or...
Machines, training, and all that. Today, as I can tell you, we have given groups, those who are in agriculture, we have given them machines for drip irrigation, so that even when it's dry, they can use the machines to get. Phase 1. Phase 2, we are going also to redesign, now build their capacities, expand their capacities. We are building a market in Rio Marani, a market worthy 150 million. For which we will now have features and other aspects. Marani.
But Marani is not in Sensi Ward.
Marani partially is owned by Sensi. Marani, the truth of the matter is Marani is in Sensi. Sensi is in Marani.
Okay.
Yeah, because we are at the boundary.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of our people come from markets in they own and they stay in Marani. I see. These are things that are happening because of good leadership. These are not things that could have happened. It took those who were there 5 years, and you can't lay a hand on anything they did. And I was asking a group of young people the other day, why can't you spend more time in doing what we call self-empowerment? Come with proposals to my office and tell me, Paul, I have these proposals. If you are able to help me, I am able to move from point A to point B. No young persons, but you will find them saying that you have not empowered themselves. It's not possible.
Okay, let's come to the bursaries allocations.
Yeah.
Is another point or another hot point.
Yes.
And why kwani sana like na what is the criteria that is being used to manage bursaries?
In Kisii County, we have what we call the Kisii County Bursary Act, which stipulates how bursaries are supposed to be dispersed. Yes. And the bursaries' main objective is to help the vulnerable and the needy students access education and training. One is to provide an opportunity for all those who need to be supported apply. Then the board sits down, the ward board sits down, and identifies the needy and vulnerable children who needs now to access the money. So the forms are given out there. The students are asked to apply and attach relevant documentations. Then the board sits. Remember, we are given only 3 million. Yeah. So ordinarily, if you were to give 1,000 each student, you can only give a maximum of 3,000.
Yeah.
But of what value is that money? If we are given 1,000. So what we do, the board sits down and says, this is the money we have, this is how we are going to distribute. Like in Sensi, we divide by the money into 4 locations. That is Kionganyo, Sensi, Mwamunari, and Mwamunari North. So the 3 million is divided into those 4 locations. So the forms, when they come, they are also put into the 4 locations. Now, when you go to the locations themselves, the money is again put into the various sub-locations. Yeah, like now each location has 2 sub-locations. So in terms of distribution, that is the hierarchy. Are you seeing? Yeah. So at the end of the day, you will find that each sub-location has equal share. And that's why the impact cannot be felt. Because remember, the money is 3 million. Yeah? If you give, for example, when we talk about the criteria, the set criteria is the orphans, total orphans. Total orphans are these students or beneficiaries who don't have parents, both parents. Partial orphans, single mothers, all fall in one category. Yeah? So like now in my area, in Sensi, we had over 200 partial orphans. And you know, in that criteria, you have between 7,000 and 10,000 for total orphans shillings to give. We had to reduce it to 5,000 so that we are able to accommodate more numbers. Yeah? Then these other cadres come in. So at the end of the day, you will find in a situation, a normal situation, people getting up to about the total beneficiaries become up to 600.
And then another question.
Yes.
There's this again mageriki arengenga ayo manyana yotari chi bursary shiri to various schools. Now in a form of empowering the youth,
I don't do that. I don't do that. Yeah. The law is very clear. My work is oversight. Is to ventilate what has been done by the committee. And I do not. There was one scenario And this is when we came in, there was a bursary which was distributed. We found that there were schools that were benefiting from those funds, and it took me my efforts to go and establish whether those schools were in existence. That's one. Two, whether those students indeed existed in those schools.
Yeah.
Three, was also to ensure, to see onto whether the beneficiaries indeed benefit from those schools. That was the sole purpose why I went to selectively, randomly. I went to Kishi National Polytechnics. We were told 50 students were there. So as a person, I needed to go to there and really confirm whether the 50 students we are being told are benefiting indeed are in that school. So in my oversight roles, it was within my mandate to go there. But I've never carried a single check. That I'm carrying a single check to give a particular student. No. In fact, all checks are picked from the office.
Yeah.
And how are they picked? We develop a list. For example, if it's National Polytechnic, we develop that list. The committee, not me, the committee develops the list and forwards the list to the county schools bursary committee. The people who issue checks is not even the committee at the ward level.
Yeah.
It is the county bursary committee, or what we call the county bursary board. It is the one that issues checks. You get it?
Yeah.
Now that board, once the committee develops the list, it says school A has four students or 10 students. Their entitlement, depending again on the criteria, total orphans, single parents, and needy. Needy, you have parents, but you are needy. Yeah, you get this apart. So the total amount going to this school A, it's 500,000 or it's 50,000. The check is done to that school of 50,000 and attach the beneficiaries. There is nowhere a single student is given a check unless he or she is the only person in that particular institution.
Okay.
Yes.
And now, so you're satisfied, like you've worked. So how do you see like the outcome? Like Kurasa Vandana Kirochba, but I know they feel like you've worked.
You know, all it boils down to individual consciousness.
Yeah.
My conscience is very clear.
Yeah.
And I am always smiling because I have done what I ought to have been done regardless of the prevailing conditions or circumstances. We are working under very difficult circumstances. Like now, we had programmed a number of development activities. Coming to March, COVID is here. Yeah? All the development monies were put in one basket to fight COVID. I think.
Yeah.
But in a scale of 1 to 10, I think I give myself 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you maybe talk about 2022?
Why can't we do? You know, my mandate is 5 years.
Yeah.
Why can't I remain within the mandate?
Yeah.
2022, when 2022 comes, we'll go to the people and they'll decide.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't just say that 2022 I'll be the president of this republic. I am an ambitious man. Yes. Anything good that is in front of me, I have to go for it. And make sure you also publish this you're publishing.
Yeah.
You as the media. You have a responsibility to provide accurate information to the public.
Sure.
And that accurate information must be evidence-based. Don't jump into a bandwagon without necessarily understanding what that bandwagon, where it is taking you to. I know there has been bad publicity on the development projects.
Yeah.
Without necessarily getting verifications in fair media briefing. Whenever an issue, you call it fair, or when in proper media, professional media, if you are told you killed You simply don't go out there and say you kill.
Yeah.
Because somebody will ask you, which hand did I use to kill? And you'll start saying left, right, east or west. I see.
Yeah.
You go to the person and ask, did you kill? Yes or no? Yes, I killed. What did you use to kill? I used my left hand. So that when you are published, you are going out there to give that information. You have that affirmation that indeed that incident did what? When you are reporting about development, report on development, on matters accuracy. Because you are talking about things that are going to impact our people. Because like now, let me tell you, when you talk about money, project money have been diverted, are you able to ascertain whether indeed money was diverted? For example, I've told you there are quite a number of projects that were in line to be implemented. COVID came in. Yeah? The national government withhold all the monies for development to the effect that nothing is happening on the ground. How do you now start saying that development money has been embezzled, development money has been, without going to the facts? You know, now there's government documents are there. If you want to know which projects are being financed, you go to the website, our budgets are there.
Yeah.
If you want to know which projects have been paid, you go to the website, they are all there. I can't run away, you can't hide, this is information there. And even when the information you don't have, you have relevant offices too. You have all these offices that have been created by the Constitution that you can verify this information and ascertain. Don't be sensational. Okay.
I wish we concluded this.
I'm not sure whether this will, whatever we've discussed, it's candid, and I'm very clear in my mind that this country needs equality and fairness. If you have to grow, we must all benefit. And on matters of development, let us deal separately on matters of development without having a nexus to representation. Because what is happening at the Senate is a mockery of the is something that in a normal sense we should move that thing from talking about a mere sharing of resources, which probably some of us have not participated to produce, to a broader thing that how do we build a fair and equal society. Because let us look on to the final end. That you apply yourself, your results become the same. A child from Northeastern applies himself, the results are the same. I see. So that we move in as a country that respects fairness and just. So that we don't start saying, we cannot reduce a country to a mere 316 billion sharing. We have a whole budget of 2.7 trillion, which as a country must start thinking closely. Which sectors do we need to invest in to spur in economic growth and hence create job opportunities for our people? Okay.
Mukambia mono sana so twali bagugamba naye basono mwachu mategereri gana otochokoro mu rubuli rero timana singa kichinde asomoro buli buno yo yanchi nduko mwanonka Edwin Mukaya.